What if I told you that Moses' staff never turned into a snake in front of Pharaoh? What if everything you thought you knew about that ancient confrontation was just the surface of a far deeper, more terrifying truth? The Hebrew word isn't serpent. It's Tanin, a creature so powerful, so connected to the very forces of creation and chaos, that it holds secrets of the past, present, and future. Today we're diving into the abyss to uncover the hidden meaning of the Tanin, and why it changes everything. Before there were birds soaring through the sky, before animals roamed the earth, there were the Tananim. Genesis 1:21 tells us that God created the great Tananim in the earliest moments of creation. But according to the ancient mystical text known as the Zohar, these weren't just sea creatures. They were raw cosmic forces, embodiments of pride, chaos, and unformed energy. They existed before balance was established in the universe. They dwelt in the realm of Tehom, the deep, stormy abyss, connected to Tohu, that chaotic stage that precedes divine order. Picture it. Before light conquered darkness, before harmony emerged from discord, these ancient powers churned in the primordial waters, waiting. In the hidden wisdom of Kabbalah, the Tananim represent something far more sinister than mere chaos. They are expressions of the klippot, the shells, spiritual blockages that hide God's light from the world. Imagine a beautiful fruit encased in a thick, impenetrable husk. The fruit is there, perfect and nourishing, but the shell makes it appear worthless, even dangerous. This is how the Tananim operate. They mask truth. They make evil appear powerful, seductive, even divine. These forces don't just exist in some distant spiritual realm. They operate within our world, testing us, misleading us, disguising reality itself. They thrive on pride, on ego, on false authority. And they were about to meet their match in the throne room of Egypt. Pharaoh wasn't just a king. He was the living embodiment of the Tanin, claiming divinity, ruling without limits, seeking total control over every aspect of life and death. In this light, Egypt wasn't just a nation. It was a spiritual force of darkness, a manifestation of everything the Tanin represents. So when Aaron threw down his staff in that throne room, and it transformed into a Tanin, this wasn't just a magic trick designed to impress a stubborn ruler. This was spiritual warfare. God had taken Pharaoh's own power and turned it against him. When Aaron's Tanin swallowed the magician's staffs whole, it wasn't just defeating their sorcery. It was divine truth consuming illusion. The Kabbalah calls this Netzach, the eternal victory of holiness over impurity. The very symbol of chaos had become the instrument of order. The embodiment of deception had become the revealer of truth. But the story of the Tanin doesn't end in Egypt. In Deuteronomy 32, as Moses delivers his final prophetic song, Israel receives a chilling warning. They have provoked me with a non-God, so I will provoke them with a non-people. What is a non-people? What could that possibly mean? According to the Zohar, this refers to soulless entities, spiritual forces or nations that lack divine connection. They are described as shells without substance, forms without spirit. Listen to these haunting words from the Zohar. They are called a non-people because they have no portion in the soul that connects to the Holy One. Their hearts are empty. They are bodies animated by darkness. These aren't just foreign nations threatening Israel's borders. They symbolize ideological systems, spiritual voids, and corrupt forces that lack any connection to holiness. They may appear successful, they may seem powerful, but it's all hollow victory. It's the Tanin in a different form, but with the same poisonous purpose. And then comes one of the most chilling verses in all of Scripture. Their wine is the venom of serpents, the cruel poison of Tananim. The wine isn't literal alcohol. It's intoxicating belief systems that make you drunk on falsehood. The poison is what the Kabbalah calls the ideological klipa, seductive systems like ancient sorcery or modern forms of idolatry that obscure divine truth. The Tananim here represent the venom of these soulless powers, arrogant, cruel, and spiritually toxic. They offer a cup that promises enlightenment but delivers only confusion. They offer power that turns to ash in your hands. From the very beginning of creation in Genesis, to the confrontation in Exodus, to the prophetic warnings in Deuteronomy, the Tanin appears at the turning points of history and spirit. It rises in different forms, wearing different masks, speaking different languages, but its essence remains the same, the force that seeks to hide light, to mock truth, to offer false alternatives to the divine. But in every single encounter, in every age, in every generation, the message remains unchanged. The Tanin may rise, but truth will swallow it whole. Just as Aaron's staff consumed the magician's deceptions, just as divine order emerged from primordial chaos, just as light conquered darkness at the very beginning of time, the pattern continues. There's one more place the Tanin makes its presence felt, but this time with a promise of protection. In Psalm 91, a passage known as the Shield of David, we read, "You will tread upon the lion and the Tanin. You will trample the young lion and the serpent." The Tanin here isn't just a threat, it's a conquered force. The psalm assures us that those who dwell in the shadow of the Almighty have nothing to fear from the primordial powers of chaos. According to Kabbalistic readings, Psalm 91 speaks of the soul's shield, faith, divine connection, and spiritual clarity that renders the illusions of the klippot powerless. The Tanin is still out there, but for the one who walks in truth, it has no sting, no power, no dominion. The same creature that once symbolized dread and confusion is now underfoot. It is the ultimate reversal. The ancient wisdom of the Tanin isn't just a historical curiosity. It's a roadmap for recognizing the spiritual forces at work in our own time. Where do you see the shells hiding the light? Where do you encounter the non-people, the soulless systems that promise everything but deliver emptiness? Where are you being offered the poisoned wine of false ideologies? The sages taught us these truths not to frighten us, but to prepare us. Because when you can recognize the Tanin, when you can see through its disguises, when you understand its true nature, you discover that it has no real power at all. What's your experience with these ancient truths? Have you encountered modern versions of the Tanin in your own spiritual journey? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden wisdom of ancient texts. And remember, in a world full of shells and shadows, your job is to help reveal the light. The truth is waiting to swallow the lies whole. The question is, are you ready to be part of that victory? Like this video if it opened your eyes to something new. Subscribe and hit the bell for more explorations into the mystical depths of ancient wisdom. And don't forget to share this with someone who needs to hear these truths today.